Here I am at Santiago de Cuba. Come join me. After a 3-hour drive from our resort to Santiago de Cuba, our first stop was Santa Ifigenia Cemetery. It's the burial site for Fidel Castro and other notable Cuban figures. We also witnessed the changing of the guard that happens every hour. There's music that plays through speakers while they do the ceremony. The cemetery is a national monument that was inaugurated in 1868. And probably the most important burial site. The architecture and sculptures throughout the cemetery were impressive and intricate. It was a quiet and sobering stop to our journey through Santiago de Cuba. Next up, we briefly visited a rum factory for anybody who wanted to buy some rum and cigars, and also a washroom stop. We were all quite hungry by then, so we stopped by a restaurant to cool down and have some nice lunch. The Castillo de San Pedro de la Roca, also known as Castillo del Morro, is a historic fortress perched on the coast of Santiago de Cuba. So I'm at a castle here, right outside of the city, and it is so secluded, so nice and peaceful, and the view of the water, my gosh, it's beautiful. It almost looks like Italy. It's crazy. Located about 10 kilometers southwest of the city center, it majestically overlooks the bay, as you can see. This impressive structure was designed by Battista Antonelli in the early 1600s to defend against raiding pirates. Constructed on a series of terraces, it has 4 main levels and 3 large bulwarks to house artillery. There are tons of old forts like this scattered across Cuba because obviously, they were at war. When they came in, they had to protect themselves. And the cannons are real here, and they have a lot of artifacts inside as well. Usually it's a bit of money. For me, I had to pay $1 to get in. But otherwise, it's just beautiful. It's like you're transformed back to history, I think about how, people were here hundreds of years ago, and they were actually in the midst of war. It's very hot though. It's extremely hot today. Don't mind the sweat. I know I said this before, but the view of the water is magnificent here. It's one of the best that I've ever seen. Oh, can I pick it up?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, really? Okay, let's try this. Okay. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. So they would tie this to your ankle. Make sure you didn't get anywhere.
It's the finger.
Yeah.
The Citadel itself took a staggering 62 years to complete, starting in 1638 and finishing in 1700. UNESCO recognized its significance by declaring it a World Heritage Site in 1997, citing it as the best preserved and most complete example of Spanish-American military architecture. And now, onto the main attraction. And after a brief drive, we came to the city center of Santiago de Cuba, which is the second largest city in the country after Havana. So I am in the middle of Santiago de Cuba, the city, and I'm at a square. This is their cathedral right behind me. There are tons of people striking up conversations here because obviously they want to sell you stuff, so just be forewarned, but otherwise just say thank you and move on. Usually that seems to do the trick. It's in a picturesque valley of the Sierra Maestra, situated in the southeastern coast of the island, approximately 870 kilometers southeast of Havana. It is so hot outside today, but I mean, it's fun walking through here and looking at all the buildings. A lot of people still trying to sell me stuff. The city has a population of about 500,000 people. It was founded in 1514, and it played a strategic role in the early colonial period and served as Cuba's capital until 1553. The city itself played a focal point in the Spanish-American War with decisive battles that happened nearby. This is one of the walkable streets here in Santiago. Oh, I need some water. It's a scorcher out here.
July with my friend in Canada in Santiago. It's a carnival.
No, thank you.
No, in July.
Oh, I see. In July. Okay,
For me, my friend in Montreal.
I see. Nice.
Santiago is good?
Yeah, it's nice. A lot of people trying to sell me things, but okay, it's fine. Thank you, brother. Do you have bottled water? Sure. Yeah, just one. Just taking a little break right now with my water. And Santiago is more well kept and cleaner than Havana. And there are a lot of tourists here. They're just walking around and wandering. There are a lot of colorful buildings, cathedral style. One thing that's also interesting is that a lot of people are actually sitting here on the side of the road and just people watching, which is something that we used to do a lot, but we don't do that much anymore. Everybody's trying to find a spot of shade, just trying to relax a little bit.
Santiago de Cuba is also the birthplace of Cuban rum. Famous brands like Bacardi and Ron Santiago were produced here. Walking through the streets, I could see how it was a tourism hub. People from all over the world flocking to experience what it's like to walk through it.
Now this city's right beside a body of water, the Caribbean, I believe. So when the sun isn't beating down like this, you can go there and relax. So many streets here that you can just walk through, and every street has character. So now I'm at the Revolution Square in Santiago de Cuba. And this is where they would have a lot of their important speeches. Thank you for joining me at Santiago de Cuba. See you in the next one.